Just gave us a brief history and background of the Aboriginal people of Australia. I'm Josh, and I'll be speaking on the current living conditions of the Aboriginals and the current living conditions of Australians today. First, I would like to talk about how the Aboriginals lived. Before their land was invaded in the 18th century, they had moved seasonally from near the sea to the inland in permanent settlements. After the British invaded, however, the settlements across the land either were taken over or even burned. Today, living conditions for the Aboriginal people are dismal. Not only have they not been able to recover as a group since the invasion, but a majority are still living in poverty because of it. Many Aboriginals are living in the outskirts of towns, in ghettos, in very rural areas where hunting is still a main source of food, or just living on the streets or sometimes even in broken down cars. While the government is attempting to help fund shelters and livable conditions for them, many are still stuck where they are and where they're living. On the other side of the spectrum, however, current living conditions for modern-day Australians is looking promising, very promising. With over 70% of Australians being employed, the quality of life continues to rise in both luxury and in health. Life in Australia for Australians is very different as compared to the Aboriginal people or even a majority of the world. The standard of living is higher as Australia is one of the most prosperous economies globally. The majority of Australians live in average to luxurious housing, which is the opposite of what most Aboriginals must face. This disparity in income between modern-day Australians to Aboriginals is very apparent, especially when it comes to the living conditions. While most Australians have cozy homes to live in, most Aboriginal people struggle to survive. While some Aboriginal people choose to live in a more rural or cultural lifestyle, some are forced to live there because they cannot afford an average Australian lifestyle. I just spoke on the living conditions of both modern-day Australians and the Aboriginal people. Next, Casey will talk about food that the Aboriginal and Australian people eat and how they get it. Thank you.